What I'm asking at this time are prayers for those who have lost their lives in the city of New Orleans due to this tragedy.
Breaking right now, New Year's celebrations in New Orleans turned to tragedy overnight after police say a driver was, quote, hell-bent on carnage, ramming into a crowd at a high speed. The driver killing 10 people and injuring dozens more. New Orleans Police Department Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick said the suspect drove around barricades and sped down Bourbon Street with, quote, very intentional behavior before opening fire on officers. Katie Weiss is in New Orleans with the latest.
Just hours into the new year, celebration turned to chaos in New Orleans after a truck plowed through a crowd on the city's iconic Bourbon Street.
He was hell-bent on creating the carnage and the damage that he did. It was very intentional behavior. This man was trying to run over as many people as he possibly could.
The incident unfolded shortly after 3 a.m. local time.
We heard loud banging sounds.
This witness did not want to be on camera.
We looked out the window, we noticed there was a lot of bodies laying on the ground.
Witnesses told me, because I was there just moments after this happened, and people were scared. They were terrified. The FBI says the suspect died after a firefight with police. The agency has taken the lead on the investigation and is looking into the incident as an act of terrorism.
The city of New Orleans was impacted by a terrorist attack.
The mayor warned people to stay away from the Bourbon Street area as the FBI investigated what appeared to be at least one improvised explosive device. The incident happened hours before the kickoff of a college football quarterfinal in the city's Superdome. Police said they're making sure the area is safe for the game. Katie Weiss, CBS News, New Orleans.
The New Orleans police chief said the suspect fired at officers from his vehicle, shooting 2 of them. Both were taken to the hospital and are in stable condition. We are continuing to follow this breaking situation, but you can head over to our website for more information.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to 2025. We started out a little cooler this morning in the 30s, nice and chilly. Those averages are right where they need to be. And this afternoon, we're only looking at highs in the mid to upper 40s. Currently at the noon hour, we are at 42 degrees, a few 30s sprinkled here and there, and 50s to our south. Hour by hour, we will start to see a little bit more sunshine. Right now, we've got a little cloud deck over us, but I saw a little break and saw the sky. We will see that sunny sunshine pushing through later in the next hour or two. But tonight, we're going to start to see those clouds clear and things are going to get a little bit cooler once again. Looking at the next 3 days, we're going to see a trend of 30s in the mornings, upper 40s, lower 50s in the afternoon. But we do have some big changes headed our way. We can expect this weather at least through Saturday. But by Sunday, we've got some rain headed our way, and that's going to bring just a little bit more of that cold weather to us. Stay with me. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Tracy, thank you. And right now we're working to learn more about an apartment fire in Little Rock. Little Rock Fire responded about 4:40 Tuesday afternoon to the Midtown Park apartments. The fire captain told us 7 people were taken to the hospital. Officials say they contained the fire to one apartment on the 2nd floor. First responders evacuated everyone from the bottom 2 floors, allowing some to remain inside.
The residents on the upper floors, as of right now, the fire marshal will determine if we need to evacuate the entire structure or if those residents can stay in place. A lot of them are immobile and they can't get around, so sometimes it's better to just let them shelter in place where they're at there.
Of the people injured, the chief said he didn't see any burned victims. Those taken to the hospital are being treated for smoke inhalation. We are still waiting to learn more about their current condition. And it's been a busy year for the Arkansas Department of Transportation as they've put a bow on their largest undertaking, the 30 Crossing project. But as we head into 2025, ARDOT is setting its sights on several other key projects across central Arkansas. As the focus shifts to the new year, many Arkansas drivers will agree the I-30 widening project in Saline County is an ending that can't come soon enough. The area continues to grow, leading to congestion, a push behind the project. But there's some good news for 2025. According to Dave Parker with ARDOT, the more than $200 million widening project should be done within weeks.
That should be wrapping up, gosh, in the next 2 weeks. Really, all the road work, the major work is done. It's been a difficult project, no doubt about it. But you still got a little bit of work, cosmetic type things, fix this, put down new sod, digital message boards.
Also, installing Highway 5 in Benton, another headache for drivers, could be wrapping up in early 2025 too. You can use Highway 5 as an alternative to Interstate 30 with hopes of it easing congestion. Another big focus this year is getting the final design for the Interstate 55 bridge in West Memphis, which impacts many Arkansas drivers. And now to some consumer news. Airbnb is announcing new technology used to flag bookings that could bring big, disruptive parties to their properties. It's a problem hosts have complained about for years after finding property damage from what turned out to be large gatherings in their properties. The short-term rental giant now has a system that detects potential problems by scouring guest reviews, booking history, and the timing of a reservation. One local host is glad to see Airbnb getting proactive.
This is just one of those indications to show that they're on trying to stay ahead of the issues, trying to be helpful for the customers as well as the hosts and also the neighborhood.
Airbnb says the system deterred 74,000 people from booking on New Year's Eve in 2024. And the new year may bring more relief for drivers at the pump, according to a new forecast. In its 2025 fuel outlook, Gas Buddy says it expects fuel prices to continue easing in the new year. After averaging $3.33 in 2024, the national average for a gallon of regular gas is forecasted at $3.22 this year, according to Gas Buddy data. Well, the new year is starting with some bad news for millions of Americans fond of that early morning caffeine. Coffee is likely going to get more expensive. Michael George explains.
Customers have been coming to Nicholas Coffee Company in Pittsburgh for more than a century. And currently, the store is facing a modern challenge, the soaring price of coffee beans.
In the last decade, this is the highest it's been.
Third-generation owner Jordan Nicholas has always seen fluctuations, but these days some coffee commodities are trading around 70% higher than a year ago. That's because supplies are down after severe drought killed plants in Brazil and Vietnam.
This is a little unprecedented territory right now.
And it's not just the lack of supply that's driving prices.
You're talking about wage prices going up. You're talking about fuel prices that have gone up, transportation that's gone up. It's really a whole bunch of combination of things that are actually impacting the price of coffee.
The price many consumers pay for coffee is up about 11% from a year ago, and that daily cup is expected to get more expensive. The companies behind brands like Folgers, Dunkin' Donuts at-home coffee, and Nespresso have already announced price increases, and others could follow suit.
We'll start to see some of that impact in January. The prices will go up, and that's usually kind of when most companies will increase prices.
Nicholas is trying to keep prices in check.
Try to absorb as much as we can. May not pass on the whole amount of that.
That's because he wants customers to keep coming through the door. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Ahead of those New Year's Eve festivities, doctors issued warnings about what they call holiday heart syndrome. Lack of sleep, eating too much sugar or fatty foods can contribute to irregular heartbeats. Holiday heart syndrome is more common among young, healthy people who don't have heart disease. But experts say be careful to not overindulge and try your best to keep your stress levels low. But most of all, watch out for the signs that something might be wrong.
So you tend to get a lot of palpitations, a lot of lightheadedness, sweats, some chest pain, although not as much, and generally sometimes just fatigue and not feeling well. The big peak time it hits is actually a day or two after the holidays. It's not usually during the imbibing, it's actually like 12 to 24 hours later. It's actually more from the hangover than it is from the drinking per se.
Now, doctors say do not put off being seen if you have any of those symptoms because they could reveal more underlying heart conditions. Many of us make resolutions heading into the new year to better ourselves, from physical goals to financial stability. But as Jeff Wagner reports, here's a few tips on how to tackle the resolution to better your mental health.
Dave Johnson is on his way to ease his mind. Inside his home is a calming space to meditate. Johnson has anxiety, a disorder that intensified during the COVID-19 pandemic. He works in public health.
Being completely overwhelmed by work and family and just feeling like there wasn't any way out.
Molly Peterson is the director of adult programs for Minnesota's National Alliance on Mental Illness.
I don't think that enough people are saying, I really want to improve my mental well-being in the new year. They want to do better in their job, they want to do better on their weight.
But specifically focusing on mental health can be easy and attainable.
As you mentioned meditation, and that's a great one because it's literally forcing you to just kind of sit in the present moment and not have racing thoughts and negative self-talk.
Here's some tips to get started in the new year. Use an app, as they can guide beginners on how to meditate. Create a space in your home to designate as the meditation area. Set an attainable goal for how often you'll do it. Lastly, find an accountability partner, either someone to meditate with you or gently remind you to stay on track.
It gives me the option of choosing, do I want to continue following anxiety thoughts, or do I want to do something else?
Ultimately, his recipe to better manage it included medication, changing therapists, and making meditation a more integral part of his life. Jeff Wagner, CBS News, Minneapolis.
And speaking of the new year, communities around the world are celebrating it in their own unique kind of way. We're taking a closer look coming up. Tracy?
Well, we're finally starting to see that cloud deck move out in a little blue sky and giving us a little sunshine. Looking for that high today in the mid to upper 40s. Stay with me. I'll let you know just how cold it's going to get next week right after the break.